Okay, we are now joined by the winner of the season opening NASCAR Xfinity Series race, driver number 21, and that is Austin Hill. We'll get right to questions. We'll start over here in the front with Jacob, then we'll go to Bob and Seth.
Hello. Oh, just got to hold your tongue right.
I had a funny feeling about that. First off, congratulations, Austin. Jokingly, I heard a few people say this week in the garage area, death, taxes, and you winning in February at Daytona. What is it about this place to start the year that you guys have figured out? Because the summer race here has not treated you well.
Yeah, I really don't know what it is. I mean, I feel like really all the super speedways that we go to, we do basically the same things that we always do. We bring, really fast Bennett Chevrolets to the racetrack. We have some really fast ECR engines. And I always think that for the most part that we make, the right moves a lot of the time. There's plenty of times throughout the race that I don't make the right move, but I kind of put that in my memory bank and I learn going into later in the race. And, the other races, a little bit of luck is involved with these super speedways. You got to be in the right place, right time. There was plenty of times that I could have gotten taken out, and I just luckily kind of squeaked by there. I did get in a wreck early in the race, but fortunately it wasn't too much damage. So, it's just this first race of the season has treated me well. Everyone in the off season is bringing their best stuff to the first race at Daytona. So to win here, the first race out, says a lot. And to do a three-peat like we did, I don't think a lot of people understand how hard that is to do here at Daytona. It's hard to win one race at Daytona, much less 3 in a row like we did for the season opener. So I'm cherishing every moment of it. But then come, tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to be getting ready for Atlanta, go see if we can go back-to-back to start the season.
I know it's special with that one on your knee, too.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we it's always special to come down to Daytona, first race of the season. I always have my family here. Some of my family members had to go back. They couldn't stay for Monday, but I did have my 2 daughters, my little one Barrett here, and then, my wife, my mom, dad, grandparents. So we do still have a lot of them still left over that stayed. So it's always fun, when they can be here to celebrate. It makes the party a little bit more special.
You referenced the damage real quick. Take us through how the car felt after the right front damage. And then what I'm curious most about is what you felt that you knew to come to pit road with that left rear going flat, because that ultimately is what saved you.
Yeah, so when the wreck happened, I knew that I had gotten pretty substantial right front damage. Even my steering wheel was a little off. I kind of, when I put the steering wheel on to start the race, I was like at 11 o'clock with it with my tape, and it got knocked to 12 o'clock. So I knew it was a little off there. And then whenever I saw that they were dropping the jack and they were trying to bend the splitter up, I'm like, oh, that's not good. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here when I drive off into turn 1 when it's loaded and we're in the draft. And when I drove off into turn 1 and I realized that I wasn't hitting the splitter really hard, I'm like, oh, maybe it's not too bad. And I went to work from there. Didn't even think about it really after, the first 5 laps after the wreck and after the damage repair that we made. And then with the left rear, I'm like under caution and I'm kind of like working my tires back and forth a little bit, just trying to keep a little bit of heat in them. And I kept feeling like the rear of the car was kind of sloshing. Well, I didn't know if it was like the tire or if it was like something in the rear end that came loose. You want to get down? Something in the rear end that had came loose because we were hitting the racetrack really, really hard all night. I mean, my spotter, Derek, he had been kind of giving me a play-by-play, like, hey, it's hitting really, really hard that lap. So I didn't know if, like, something grinded off, truck arm was bent, something was into the tire. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew something didn't feel right. And they kind of left it up to me, if you want to pit. And I did not want to pit at all. And Andy kind of ultimately was like, hey, we don't need to have any issues. We still got a little bit of time here. Anything can happen. And so we came down pit road. Sure enough, left rear tire was flat. And, when we start the restart with like 12 or 13 to go, I didn't think that I'm not going to say I didn't think that we had the time to get back up there. What, buddy? I didn't think that we had the time to really, get back up. I'm not going to say I didn't think that we had the time to get back up there, but I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle. And I think we were coming off of turn 4, and my spotter, Derek's like, hey, we got to just make some stuff happen. We got to make some moves go. And sure enough, like the middle lane just like opened up for me where, everyone's fighting for the bottom, everyone's fighting for the top, and the middle lane kind of opened up. And when it did, I mean, I just kind of shot out of a rocket. It felt like drove all the way to the 32 car, pushed him up towards the lead or to the lead eventually. And then the caution came out from behind us. And, I haven't seen the replay yet. I just know that it felt like he was very close to hitting me in the right rear. So that was one of those like lucky kind of situations where I was just in the right place, right time, missed the wreck, and was able to go on and get the win when it mattered. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's bouncing off the chip, so he's ready to party.
Go to Bob.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. You have damage. You have a safety violation. You keep having to come from the back end. It doesn't seem like you need a push from anybody. How come? I mean, it seems like your car can do things that the others can't.
Yeah, our car's obviously really fast. I mean, it shows in qualifying. But, I mean, when you look at it, we're only winning the pole by half a tenth, maybe a tenth. It's not like we're winning the pole by half a second where we have substantial amount of speed on the whole entire field. But, I mean, I just think it's the minor details. I think it's just those little details that end up mattering that RCR, ECR, and everybody back at the shop do a really good job of is they just have those little details that, a lot of teams might be like, oh, that doesn't matter. That's a 32nd of an inch or that's an eighth of an inch. Well, at RCR it matters. And, when you bring a car to the racetrack, they just want it a certain way. When they come to these super speedways, they want it to unload a certain way. They want it to drive a certain way. Like you said, there was a lot of adversity tonight. I didn't do my job on pit road. I almost slid through the box during the first stop. Second stop, I left it in third gear coming to pit road. Have no idea why. I guess I was mentally like thinking of like what I was going to do for the restart, and sped on pit road, then slid through my box, about ran my guys over, and I kind of had to mentally reset right there. When I pulled off pit road and they told me that I had the penalty, and we came back down, took 4 tires, I just kind of mentally reset there. I'm like, look, this is a new race. I'm going to get this all behind me, and we're going to go to work. And, we had that adversity with the left rear tire, but it didn't slow us down. I think some of it, too, is, guys know that the 21 car is making the right moves at the right time a lot of the time, so they want to kind of work with you, whereas, they might be skeptical on working with somebody else. And, I had really good luck with actually guys working with me tonight. I don't know if it was just a product of them seeing me making certain moves and they wanted to go where I was going, but I know that some of the JRM cars, especially the 8 car, he seemed to be tied to my rear bumper a lot of the night. So I want to thank him for that, for sticking with me as long as he did. The 5 car did as well. And then, when I lost my wingman, Jesse, early in the race, it was a little bit of a bummer because I knew he had a car that was capable of winning. And, when it came down to the end of the race, you had, a couple Chevys, but then you had the Toyotas, the Fords, all that. So I knew it was going to kind of get spread out and spaced out, and a lot of people were going to be jockeying for position. So my number one goal was to get to the lead and then just try to control it from there. And luckily enough, it all worked out.
Seth?
Seth Egger, KickingTires.net. Austin, it's often said that drivers will trade anything to win here at Daytona. Given your experience and your perspective, why is that?
It's just, I know this is crazy me saying this because I've done it 3 times in a row now to start the season, but it is extremely hard to win here. It's not easy. There's so many different variables that happen. There's a lot of wrecks that happen throughout the race that might not be your doing. I was in one today. Luckily, I just had some minor damage, obviously. So there's so much stuff that's out of your control. And even if you put together the perfect race, you do everything right, you do all your pit stops on pit road, you get back out and in the lead, it still all has to come together, and you have to really trust the guy out back that's pushing you and the guys around you that are racing side by side with you to keep it together. So, Daytona's just it's the start of the season. It's kind of, in the Xfinity Series, it's kind of like our Daytona 500 in a sense, just because it is the start of the season. We're getting going. You're racing the same weekend as Daytona 500, so the extra hype's there. A lot more viewers normally is there. So everyone wants to win at Daytona, and everyone wants to win to start off the season, because then it starts, your playoffs, everything like that. You're already locked in for the playoffs later in the season. You can kind of go ahead and go to work on that to get ready for the end of the year.
Go to Zach.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. What's this day been like for you? Because you were supposed to go at 11 a.m., then you fire off at 9 p.m., run the Daytona 500 in between those, and what have you done all day?
I actually went and bought a TV and put it in my motorhome. My TV that I was actually using to watch the Daytona 500 kept flickering on me, and I'm like, man, we can't have this. Like, I got to be able to see what's going on at the Daytona 500. So we ran over to Best Buy right across the street, put the TV together. We had to do a little work on the plate that we had to put on. We had to drill some new holes and get it all leveled. So that was kind of my day. And then I watched the Daytona 500. Other than that, you really not a whole lot. Just just going through my normal motion. I kind of have the same regimen of kind of eating the same food on race day, that type of thing. Try to keep all that pretty much the same. But also try to stay moving a little bit. Like I didn't want to just sit around and kind of get stiff and stale and just, when you're sitting around in the motorhome all day, it's just, I don't know, it's a little depressing. Like you want to go out and do something. So I just tried to kind of stay kind of moving all day, doing something. That way when it was time to go, I wasn't just thinking about it all day long. I didn't want to sit there and be like, man, I'm thinking about this race from 10 in the morning all the way until 9 o'clock at night. I kind of want to get off my mind, so we found some fun things to do.
Dustin?
Dustin Labino, Jayski, kind of off of that, like, what'd you do the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, well, yeah. So what did we do? I don't even know. Like, my days are running together. So I know, we went out to eat a few nights, few days, went and did, what else did we do, Lindley? What did we do all day? We went to Bass Pro, bought some stuff there. So, we had a good time. We stayed busy. We didn't want to just sit in the motorhome, like I said. It's kind of easy to kind of just get lazy sitting in there, and you want to stay mobile and keep moving and doing stuff. So, we found some things to do that kind of got us through the weekend, but I'm glad that it's over. I can tell you that. It's been a long Daytona weekend.
And then going down pit road, what exactly happened on that violation?
Oh yeah, so
Thank you.
I just mentally, I don't know why. I was really thinking about what was going to happen when I come down pit road. I knew I was going to lose some spots and that type of thing. Because of what we were going to do during our pit stop and all. And I left it in third gear, and we were running second gear. And I'm trying to find my lights, and I'm I'm looking for so we run 2 red lights on our dash, and I'm looking for my 2 red, and I look down, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm going really fast right now. And then I look in the mirror, and I've left everybody. And then I'm coming up really fast on my box, so I'm trying to get it slowed down. Then next thing you know, I slide through my box, which I was having an issue with sliding kind of into my box all day. It was real slick, and about ran the guys over and everything else. So totally 100% on me. And right after that stop, when we came back in, we put 4 tires on it. That was like a full reset for me. I mean, I literally kind of reset my brain. It was like a new race for me, and then we went back to work after that. Yeah.
Are there any questions in the press box? Okay, we'll stay down here at Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM, NASCAR Radio, and CatchFence.com. I don't have to tell you how much loyalty means to RC, and the fact that you had an opportunity potentially to go cup racing last year, but you decided to stick with him. Said he wants to put you in cup car, and he expects to, have you in a cup car relatively soon, full time. What does it, what does it mean? Because, we hear time and again that names are made here in the Xfinity series, but, you come here and you really establish yourself as somebody over and above the field. And, when you do get an opportunity like this down the road, what is that going to mean to you?
Yeah, it's going to mean a lot. I'm very loyal to all the race teams that I've ever been with in the past. It's always been a very strong topic, and it's not something that's easy to make a decision on. If I was to, jump to a different race team, different manufacturer, that type of thing. So there's a lot that's involved with my decision making, and just over the last 2 years, going on 3 years now, just everything that Richard Childress stands for, and the man that he is today, and the way he has been through his entire career, his entire life, his values, all those things, they really line up with my values, and so I just think it works, it clicks. Him and I get along really well, even outside of racing. We go elk hunting together, that type of thing. So having that bond means more to me than just driving a race car. So if the opportunity presents itself to go cup racing one day, sure, I definitely want to do that, but I want to make sure I'm doing it with the right people. So racing with RCR has been great to me. Everyone's been a family oriented group. I'm very family oriented, and so if the time ever came to where I could move up to Cup and I could run for RCR, I definitely would do it. But I just want to make sure if I do make that jump, I don't want to rush into it, for one, and then two, I want to make sure it's the right change that I'm making, and that if I do go somewhere other than RCR, it's going to be the right fit for me. Yep, thanks.
Any final questions for Austin? All right. Well, Austin, congratulations. Good luck in Atlanta.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's been talked about. That's for sure. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's been thrown around a good bit. So
He seemed adamant about it.
yeah, definitely. So
I'm gonna go back to it.
all right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.